Good morning, family, friends. This is Invisible Ink. Once again, I'm here to remind you that it is your life story, and you, my friend, can rewrite it if you want to. I have another inspiring story for you today, one that I believe is going to encourage you, inspire you, as well as motivate you. The topic for today is stop stressing so much. Yes, I'm going to say that again. Stop stressing so much. Listen to this. Once upon a time, a psychology professor walked around on a stage while teaching stress management principles to an auditorium filled with students. As she raised a glass of water, everyone expected that they'll be asked the typical glass half full, glass half empty question, which happens to be one of my favorite questions. Instead, with a smile on her face, the professor asks, "How heavy is this glass of water that I'm holding?" Students shouted out answers ranging from 8 ounces to a couple pounds. She replied, "From my perspective, the absolute weight of the glass, it doesn't even matter. It all depends on how long I hold it. If I hold it for a minute or two, it's fairly light. If I hold it for an hour straight, its weight might make my arm ache a little. If I hold it for a day straight, my arm will likely cramp up and feel completely numbed and paralyzed, forcing me to drop the glass to the floor. In each case, the weight of the glass, it doesn't change, but the longer I hold it, the heavier it feels to me." As the class shook their heads in agreement, she continued, "Your stresses and worries in life are very much like this glass of water. Think about them for a while and nothing happens. Think about them a bit longer and you begin to ache a little. Think about them all day long and you will feel completely numbed and paralyzed, incapable of doing anything else until you drop it. Stop stressing so much. What is it that you're holding on to? And how long have you been holding it? Because the longer you hold on to it, the heavier it becomes. You know, one of my favorite scriptures is Philippians 4:6-10. And it starts off by saying, "Be anxious for nothing, but in all things through prayer, supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God." Anxious is another word for worry. God is saying, stop worrying. Stop worrying. Stop holding on to things that are not good for you. Stop holding on to things that are too big for you. Stop holding on to things that you should give to me. He said, stop worrying, stop being anxious. He said, but through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto me. He said, bring your problems to me. Whatever it is that you're going through, your relationship problem, your financial problem, your health problem, he said, bring it over to me because I can handle it. He said, you've been holding on to it too long. And it's wearing you down. You've been holding on it so long, it's paralyzing you. You can't even do anything else. You can't eat, you can't sleep. You can't even find any time to enjoy life because there's something that you're holding on to and it's killing you. It's wearing you down. But you have to let it go. You have to relinquish it. You have to set it to the side because it's going to destroy you. God said, give it to me because there's no problem too big that he can't fix, nor too small that he will overlook. And he said, if you give me your worries, you give me your stresses, he said, in exchange, I'll give you my peace. A peace that surpasses all understanding. The type of peace that people begin to look at you and say, how can you be going through what you're going through and still have a smile on your face? How can you be diagnosed with cancer and going back and forth to the hospital for chemo and you still have a smile on your face? You still find time to be able to encourage somebody else. He said, that's the type of peace that I'll give you. You know, how can you be trying to find a job and struggling to make ends meet and you still have a positive attitude? He said, that's the type of peace that I'll give you. You know, how can you, be in and out of relationships with your heart being broken, but you still being hopeful and say that one day I know that I'll find my Boaz. He said that that's the peace that I'll give you. He said, how can you have wasted countless number of years out there in the streets, in and out of jail on drugs, but you still hopeful, you still dreaming? He said, that's the type of peace that I'll give you. But you got to be willing to let it go. Because you're holding on so tight to problems. You're holding on so tight to stresses, and God trying to give you the peace, but he said you can't have the peace and the problems together. Either you want one or the other, you have to let one go. Let go of the problems, and he said, I'll give you the peace. What are you worried about? What are you holding on to today, my friend? That you know that it's time to let it go. Because holding on to it is not making you stronger, it's making you weaker. Holding on to it is not making you better, it's making you bitter. There are some of you, you're holding on to grudges, unforgiveness, and it's making you weak. It's time to let some things go. It's time to let some things that people done to you, it's time to let it go. It's time for you to move forward and take control over your life. It's time to take your life back, my friend. It's time for you to rewrite your story. It's time for you to change character and say, I'm no longer going to be the victim, but I'm going to be the overcomer. It's time for you to change character and say, no, I'm no longer going to be the prisoner anymore. But I'm coming out of this because I'm going to forgive. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to let go, and I'm going to move on. Because that's where your blessings is at. Your blessings is not in your past, but your blessings is in your future. Your blessings, my friend, is not in what's behind you, but your blessing is what's in you and what's ahead of you. Because greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. You have been given a gift this morning, a gift to forgive, a gift to let go. Use your gift this morning. Smile this morning. Rejoice this morning, because you go out to get your life back. You about to get your joy back. You about to get your peace back. How do I know? I know because I know there's some things that you're willing to let go. It's time for you to let it go. It's time for you to live your best life. It's time for you to be your best self. Let it go, my friend. Let go and let God. Let God heal you. Let God give you what you need so that you can be all that you can be. Be anxious for nothing. You don't have to worry about anything, because God is bigger than any problem that you face. So is your glass half full, or is your glass half empty? I want you to be blessed today. I want you to be inspired today. I want you to rewrite your story today. And I want you to put down the problems, put down the stress, and open your heart, open your hands, so that you can receive the peace that surpasses all understanding. God bless you, my friend.